I'm passing the mic directly to you.
I'm going to throw it in
Get ready.
Potomac.
4,
No, oh my
3, 2, 1.
Live from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, I'm Jordan Parker with Right Side Broadcasting, joined by Liz Willis, and for the first time on our air is Alex Caldwell and Mike Dinwiddie. We're so excited to have them. They are training with us today, and sadly, as you all know, there is no rally. The president canceled it last night. However, we are still here. We came anyway, and so we figured we'd broadcast, show you guys a little bit of what New Hampshire has to offer, and give you a tour around Portsmouth. The campaign announced yesterday that they will be back in 1 or 2 weeks, and of course, as soon as the campaign is back here, you know Right Side will be right along with them. But without further ado, I want to give our two new reporters a chance to introduce themselves, tell you how they found Right Side, and a little bit about themselves. So I'll first pass it off to Alex.
Hello, everyone, and as you know, my name is Alex Caldwell. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the way I found Right Side Broadcasting, I was actually at a Trump rally 2 years ago with one of my great friends, Libby Krieger, who also works for Right Side Broadcasting. And we were walking out of the rally, and we ran into Right Side Broadcasting, and I had never heard of them before, and they had come up to interview us, and my dad said to the people at Right Side Broadcasting, hey, you should hear Libby Krieger sing. She's a really good singer. So Libby Krieger sang the national anthem for everyone at Right Side Broadcasting, and Right Side Broadcasting, because they loved her voice so much, offered her a position at Right Side Broadcasting. And several months ago, I had run into Libby at a religious retreat out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she had told me about an opening at Right Side Broadcasting and offered me the position if I wanted it. So I went and I applied, and I spoke with the people at Right Side Broadcasting who were very, very generous and let me have this opportunity. So today is my first time at a rally. I wish it turned out a little bit differently, but hopefully we'll be here 2 weeks from now when President Trump has his rally rescheduled. So I appreciate all of you welcoming me into the Right Side Broadcasting family. And here's Mike.
Yeah, well, my name is Mike Dinwiddie, but the majority of the people on the internet know me as Mike Nificent, as I have a YouTube channel. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, but my home is now in Florida, where I'm no stranger to Trump rallies. That's actually how Right Side discovered me. Was I've been going around just with my own camera, just covering Trump rallies on the ground. I love the enthusiasm and the positive energy in the crowd, and so this is a natural fit for me to join Right Side Broadcasting. It's a very exciting opportunity. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, it's not an actual Trump rally, but, you know, we're improvising, adapting, and we're going to overcome it, and it's all good. But, you know, I'm really happy to be here. I discovered Right Side Broadcasting actually before they discovered me. I'd watched them online, and then they reached out to me. They liked some of my work, and it was a good fit, and here we are.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, you guys. Well, we're really excited to be here despite the announcement of the rally being canceled. So we thought we would share our experience with some of y'all and be able to give you a little tour of what it's like to be here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It's really beautiful, and there are American flags pretty much everywhere we look. There's that direction there, and of course that one right there. We will pan to that, but for now we think we're going to walk and give you guys a nice tour of the harbor. So we will walk and talk. Cameraman can be on the streets. All these flags. There's a Don't Tread on Me as well over here, the United States flag. Don't Tread on Me right below it. It looks like the town was ready to welcome President Trump for his rally, and like I said, we are sad about the cancellation. The campaign did state that they were canceling due to the safety of the rally goers due to Tropical Storm Fay. As you can see, it's still a beautiful day here. You never know what's going to happen with the weather. It turned out really nice. We're excited to be here and to be able to explore a little bit. Again, thank you for tuning into Right Side Broadcasting Network, where we cover President Trump's rallies and many of his big speeches and public events. We've been able to travel the country for the past few years thanks to so many of our generous viewers. As you know, we are almost entirely donation-based, so we do rely on your donations to keep us going from rally to rally and from one location to another. We want to thank everyone who's donated so far, kept us in business, and we look forward to the next rally to really be able to go to these places and to show you what's going on at the feet of the campaign. The campaign has been working so hard to get these rallies booked and planned and have the logistics going. However, with everything that's going on in the world right now, there are a lot of kind of issues that you got to deal with, whether it's corona or weather or protest, the safety of the rally goers is one of the most important things to keep in mind. So we're going to do our best to stay positive and to continue bringing you the rallies. Hopefully some more will be announced soon. Like Jordan said, this one should be rescheduled in about a week or two. So we will definitely be here to cover it. Look how pretty that street is. All the flags. There's 4 American flags that I can see out of like 8 houses. That's pretty cool. You don't see that in very many places. And it's full-on hydrangea season here. So really a beautiful walk. Jordan Parker, what do you think of New Hampshire so far?
I think this is gorgeous. I've been here a few times before, but this is my first time to Portsmouth. Maine is also just across the bridge that you're going to see us going up here. And I've been to Maine quite a few times. Another gorgeous part of the country. And New Hampshire, excuse me, is very interesting as it is a swing state. Now, a lot of people think of the Northeast as, very blue, very Democratic. But New Hampshire is kind of an anomaly among these blue states in the fact that it is a swing state. So that's why the Trump campaign has focused so much energy on New Hampshire, holding multiple rallies over the past few years here, gearing up for November 3rd, 2020, in just a few months from now. And of course, that was the campaign's goal coming here yesterday, though that obviously those plans were upended. I do want to read a statement from the campaign regarding yesterday's rally. Tim Murtaugh, the Trump 2020 communications director, said the rally scheduled for Saturday in Portsmouth today has been postponed for safety reasons because of Tropical Storm Fay. It will be rescheduled and a new date will be announced soon. We're hearing that the new date is going to come in the next 1 to 2 weeks, but of course that is not confirmed. And as soon as we hear it, we will be sure to let you know. Now, you hear Liz and I talk more than enough at each and every one of these rallies, and we want to give our new guys a chance to get used to the camera, as I'm sure you'll be seeing them a lot as we get closer to Election Day. So I'm going to pass it off to Alex and let him take over the broadcast from here. Alex?
Thank you very much, Jordan. Well, this is my first time ever being in New Hampshire, and I have to say it is one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen. I think it is a great spot to be holding a rally. It is unfortunate that under the circumstances we were not able to have it. I would have loved to have my first rally here, but hopefully in 2 weeks we will be able to bring that to you. So, yeah, President Trump has been doing a very great job so far, as we all know. President Trump bringing record low unemployment and the economy in New Hampshire being fantastic under President Trump. It is unfortunate that he is not able to be here today, but hopefully next time we will be able to have him here. President Trump, as we know, is going up against Vice President Joe Biden in November, and we're not really sure how New Hampshire feels about Vice President Joe Biden. Vice President Joe Biden has been consistently ahead in the polls, but we don't know how accurate those polls are. As we remember in 2016, they were fairly inaccurate. Now, hopefully President Trump is able to pull off a victory. We have seen him do what many have considered to be impossible. So will he be able to do this again in 2020's election in November? Maybe. I will now hand off the microphone to Mr. Michael Dinwiddie.
Yeah, I love how the backdrop just kind of sets up naturally here. You see we got the beautiful American flag, and this also is my first time in New Hampshire, and it's beautiful. As you can see, you got the port over here, you got lots of people boating, just enjoying the nice weather and sunshine and freedom, ultimately. That's what America's about. This is why it's the greatest country on earth, and President Trump really embodies that with his policies, and that's why there's so much enthusiasm for this president in a swing state like New Hampshire, where it's going to be critical to the 2020 election. He's got to pull out all the stops. So hopefully he will be able to return in 2 weeks, and it'll be a great turnout, and he'll ultimately be able to secure the electoral votes for New Hampshire. But we're just going to walk down here, guys, and just look over the beautiful water. I think Maine is right over there, so we'll hopefully get to go over there so I can add that to the list of states that I've visited. This was supposed to be my first rally covering with Right Side. As I've said in my intro, that I've done several different Trump rallies, so this is not new to me to be on camera and record and report things. But this has kind of turned into a little pseudo travel just to check out different states, and we've got Massachusetts to our south and Vermont to our west, and Maine right here to our north. But it's just a very beautiful area, guys, and a lot of people are just really enjoying it. And I think it's definitely important to, as Liz and Jordan will let you guys know with them having more experience. This Right Side Broadcasting is 100% viewer funded. So trips like this to go and cover the president's rallies could not be made possible without our supporters, our viewers. You guys give us the donations that help us come out for these trips. They're not free. Costs can add up, and obviously we've incurred some costs for a trip where a rally did not take place. So it's very crucial that you guys can support us either through our physical address or through super chats, and there's, I believe, several other ways to support us. What, like I said, Liz and Jordan could fill you in a little bit more on that while I'm getting up to speed. But we would love to be able to recoup some of the funds that we use for this trip here, guys. So if we pan around here, we can see that the park over here looks like people are just hanging out. That's an amazing bridge. It's just a beautiful, beautiful state. Love it over here in New Hampshire. I almost slipped and said Vermont, but nope, that's the state to our west. Nothing like Joe Biden there. All right, Liz, we're going to switch it over and hand it off to you.
Yeah, thank you. Great job. We know things are a little different than what we originally told you you'd be doing today, so we appreciate everyone rolling with the punches. Again, trying to make the best out of the situation. We were pretty much mid-flight, all of us, when we got the cancellation of today's rally, so we had already booked the hotels, the flights, hired these new correspondents to be able to train them for today's rally. So in lieu of sending them home, we decided to make the best and explore New Hampshire.
Oh, I think we have some friendly faces behind us, possibly.
Oh, wow. Maybe we could
One of
do
you guys
some
wanna go talk to them,
interviews.
see if they want to be interviewed?
See if they originally planned to come to the rally. But again, we want to say thank you for your donations. This was a very expensive trip for us to not have a rally after spending all this money really investing in it and then not having it happen. We are hurting a little bit. So if you guys would like to donate, please consider doing so. We have a lot of expenses to make up for this cancellation happening so late. Again, we were already
And then we were mid-flight.
middle of the flight. I was actually taking a nap, and Jordan
I
comes
came back,
back.
I
He
was
like is poking me, and I'm like, "Go away! What are you doing?" He goes,
Not gonna believe
"He
this.
goes, the rally was canceled." I was like, "What? This has never happened before."
She thought she was being punked.
So it looks like the guys have an interview, and I'm going to hand it over to them in just a minute. We saw some Trump gear, so we generally take that as a
I've
sign
seen a
of...
few of those people today,
We have.
right?
We actually had one in the hotel today who was extremely bummed about this. She was really sweet. We talked to her for a good amount of time. She doesn't think that the weather was the issue. She thinks it's possibly low, and this is allegedly that she thinks it was low ticket requests, possibly due to people just really not being able to afford to travel right now due to the coronavirus just absolutely obliterating our economy.
This isn't a cheap part of the country.
No.
I'll tell you
Say it again.
that. This isn't a cheap part of the country from our food bills, that's for sure.
It is not cheap, but it is so beautiful. I
food.
want to live here. I
Yeah.
could live off clam chowder on lobster rolls for the rest of my life. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hand the microphone off. This is going to be Mike and Alex's first time interviewing someone. But again, we're just trying to show you guys a little bit of what Portsmouth, New Hampshire is like and some of the people that were originally planning on attending President Trump's Keep America Great rally.
All right, guys. Well, I'm here with Mark. As you can see, he supports the president. Mark, why don't you tell the audience here where you're from and what brings you here to Portsmouth, New Hampshire?
Well, I'm from Massachusetts, from Cape Cod, actually, to be specific. And we came up to, obviously, for the Trump rally, right? But I couldn't cancel our hotel stay in time, so we figured we'd just come up anyway and ran into you great folks. So,
Yeah.
nice meeting you all.
In your opinion, what does Trump need to do in order to get reelected?
Keep doing what he's been doing. Don't hold back. Continue to be his same brave, courageous, bold self, and not give in to to the pressure that's on him, especially by the news media. And so, that's what he has to do. I think just keep doing what he's holding rallies, being fearless. That's what I think will win him re-election.
Yeah, and I know that you said that you're from Massachusetts, correct? And New Hampshire is a swing state, so
Right.
a lot of the polls are showing that the president's down in the key swing states like Florida, where I'm from, and Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and places like that. Do you think that the polls are accurate, or do you think that it's more like smoke and mirrors from the media to try to throw off the public?
Well, the best way to answer that is just look at the history of polling, especially in 2016, and how the polls were showing Hillary Clinton up the same way. And really it's all just to repress voters to get out and vote for Trump. It's to discourage voters, but I don't get discouraged, because I know that it's not true. So it's inaccurate.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely unfortunate that there wasn't a rally for you to attend, but fortunately, you can spend some great time here in New Hampshire. Do you have anything else you want to say to the audience?
Well, I'm really glad. I really love Right Side. I've heard of it. I've listened to it, and I think you guys are doing a great thing. So just keep up the good work, and God bless the audience.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so
You're
much.
Welcome.
All right. Y'all can just keep walking.
Yeah, we'll just.
Okay, guys. Nice
Yeah,
meeting you all.
thank you so much.
Thanks. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest
Yeah.
of your trip.
Yeah, as you guys can see, that was my first interview. I've obviously interviewed Trump supporters before, but it's always that kind of interaction. People are friendly, polite, willing to talk to you, and I think that embodies what most Americans are. Just friendly, patriotic, they love the country, they love freedom, and they roll with the punches. That's what we do, and we will get through this as a country together, everything that we're going through, from the virus to the riots and the protesting and everything else. And hopefully, the president will be able to return to New Hampshire and win it ultimately.
Thank you. Great job, Mike. Very good first interview. I know they're nerve-wracking. It's a lot more difficult than it looks to interview someone, because not only are you trying to keep a conversation going, but you have to listen, comprehend, and at the same time be preparing another question. So it's a little trickier than it seems, but you did great. I do want to say thank you. We have a donation from Kathleen Berry, who says, "Thank you, God, for Donald Trump." So again, I'm going to be reading all donations today that come in. We are trying to make up some of these costs that we spent on this canceled rally trip. So please, if you enjoy Right Side Broadcast Network and you want to see us keep going to other rallies, you know the drill. You know that we are almost entirely donation based. So you can send a donation by clicking the $sign in the bottom right hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. That's a great option. Jordan will be reading those Super Chat donations throughout the day. I will be reading the ones that go through our website. So that's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Again, that's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. That'll take you to our donations tab. It's very simple. It will go through PayPal, tried, true, and trusted source. You can do credit cards or debit cards. And if you would like to have a message read out loud, you can send that. You'll see the option for that when you send in your donation, and I will be reading all of those out loud today. So again, we're just going to keep walking and showing you a little bit more about what Portsmouth, New Hampshire has, and we'll keep talking to you guys. The third way that you can donate is by sending a check. So this will be the non-electronic option. You can send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. So those are three of the main ways that you can contribute to Right Side Broadcasting Network and help us get to more rallies. Another American flag, absolutely beautiful. I did just feel my first raindrop of the day. Yeah, the rain might be coming. We might be getting Tropical Storm Fay after all. But truly a beautiful harbor. You can see the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard across the way. I'm really struggling with my vision to read that one. Pretty bad. The camera can read better than I can. But it really is absolutely beautiful here. And everyone so far has been really nice. Like Jordan said earlier, delicious food, lots of clam chowder and lobster rolls. We are hoping that the rallies will be announced soon. I'm extremely bummed that this one was canceled, but happy to be here. President Trump has been busy lately. We've seen him on Twitter. He's talked about the Alabama races, the pardoning of Roger Stone, and today I believe he's golfing. Later, around 6:30 today, the time of the original rally, he will be at Walter Reed Medical Center. I'm going to hand the microphone back over to one of the boys while we continue this walk and talk.
Yeah, I'm going to read a few of the Super Chat donations. I've missed a few earlier, but I want to thank, Vivian Alcala. Vivian, thank you so much for your donation. There were a few more that I saw I'm going to try and find, but nonetheless, make sure you all keep those donations going in the Super Chat. We're going to be monitoring that all day long, so make sure those you get your chance to be shouted out on air. Also, if you have any questions, make sure you drop those down below. And if you want to interact with us over on social media and leave us questions, that is a great place to do it as well. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms at RSB Network on Twitter and Instagram. Again, that's at RSB Network over on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow us on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting. You'll see the blue check, and that will let you know it is us. And lastly, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, make sure you click that big red subscribe button and the like button to let YouTube know that you like our content. If you want to interact with the hosts on Twitter, you can follow myself at Jordan Parker _. You can follow Liz at Liz Willis _. And Mike, what's your Twitter handle?
MikeNificent813.
At MikeNificent813. And Alex, I don't believe you have a Twitter handle, do you?
I don't remember
No.
what it is because I'm usually never on Twitter.
Alex is not active on Twitter, which is totally okay. But the rest of us, those Twitter handles are there for you. Again, Liz already mentioned we want to thank you for your continued donation and support. This trip was very expensive, and for us to have no rally is kind of a bummer, but we're going to keep on keeping on. These trips cost between $5,000 and $7,000 to attend each and every time, and it's your donations that continue getting us out there on the road. We expect a busy campaign season. We know the virus is still going on, so there's lots of logistics and difficulties working around that as some states begin to flare up again, and the campaign is doing everything they can to make sure they can still hold rallies while also maintaining the safety and security of the attendees, of their staff members, and of course, most importantly, the President of the United States. So we will continue to bring you updates, and the social media platforms that I mentioned are the best place to get those updates live in real time. I'm going to bring Mike and Alex back on camera. Now, guys, I want to get your thoughts. Now, this is your first, obviously you didn't go to a rally, but as we move through here, as we move through this election cycle, things have changed a lot recently. Obviously, you touched on that a little bit earlier, the virus, the protests, the riots. How do you think this is all going to play into the November election?
Well, I think in a lot of ways this is actually going to help Donald Trump tremendously. If you want to take a look at what he's done with the economy in the first place, he was able to recover the economy from the years of Barack Obama. And as we know, under Barack Obama, we had the record slow economic growth. And that was one of the first things that President Trump did. And now we're put into a very similar situation as what we were in 2008. So it just comes down to, who do you think is going to do a better job with the economy? Is it going to be President Trump, who was able to recover the economy the first time, or is it going to be Vice President Joe Biden, who is planning to have Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez be in charge of his economic policies that are similar to that of socialist Venezuela? If you also want to know about why I think President Trump could be benefited from all of the stuff going on right now, you have certain things going on all around the country, such as in Minneapolis, where you have law and order essentially being thrown out the window. You have people burning and looting things down, and President Trump is the candidate of law and order. If you want to see less law and order, if you want to see more rioting, more looting, then that's what's going to end up happening under Vice President Joe Biden. So I think the American people are going to end up voting for the person who says that he will protect them, he will protect their Second Amendment rights, he will protect their police, and he will protect their economy.
Mike, what do you think?
I think Alex hit the nail on the head. You know, this is a law and order president, and I think his message resonates with millions and millions of people. In fact, it's probably the majority of Americans who resonate with his America First law and order message. So I think if he can just stick to that kind of messaging, just let everyone know that we will overcome the coronavirus pandemic. We're going to overcome all of the divisiveness coming from the Democrats and the left. And I think that if he can just focus in on that message and continue to build enthusiasm about bringing jobs back and rebuilding the economy, that will propel him to re-election. You know, like Alex said, when Joe Biden was vice president, jobs were shipped overseas. We saw extreme economic despair all across the country, all across different races and ethnicities and backgrounds. And so when Trump took office, we saw an instant U-turn and things got better under the president. Record low black unemployment, Hispanic unemployment, Asian unemployment. We saw things improve under this president. So if he keeps that messaging going and continues to rally and get people excited and expose the corruption that we see on the left, a lot of voter fraud potential out there with the mandatory mail-in ballots that they're proposing that we see. We know that that's a possibility. So if he continues to call that out and continue to have the winning message ultimately, which is freedom, liberty, economic prosperity, I think Trump will win in 2020. It won't be a problem at all. Yeah, guys, so we're out here in New Hampshire just making the best out of it and, you know, rolling with the punches.
Mike, I think
Let's
we might have someone to interview.
I think we do have someone to interview. I think Alex might need to do his first interview. This feels like a great opportunity. We're going to let Alex take this one.
I can do this one
Wow.
if you'd like.
I could do them. Give me a chance to do my first
He
one.
seems friendly, so it should be. This is Alex's first
Yeah.
time.
Hi, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you.
Steve McGuire.
This is my first interview, so bear with us. But so, Steve McGuire, can you tell us where you're from?
Davenport, Iowa.
Davenport, Iowa. That's quite a trip. You came here for the Trump rally, I assume.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Well, that's very impressive. So, what can you tell us about your outfit? Have you gotten a lot of weird looks from anybody? Has anybody
Well,
given
I
you
just-
harassment over it?
Oh, I've worn it at different rallies in Michigan and Iowa. People, once you get far enough away, then they realize what you're wearing. They go, oh. So
Iowa, that's quite the trip. What gets you to come all the way out here to New Hampshire, halfway across the country? What makes you do that?
well, watch these guys a lot, all the time.
Thank you.
We were listening to them and like going, oh, there's a crane behind him and a flag.
Oh
So,
my gosh, where were you?
So funny.
oh, we were. She says they're down by the river somewhere.
Wow. So you found us.
Yes, we did.
Cool. We love it. You can stick with us for the day.
So what gets you to come all the way halfway across the country to see President Trump? What's your motivation?
Love
behind
what he
that?
stands for. I'm a business owner myself, so it just means a lot to keep plowing ahead and doing what's right for the country.
So, have you always supported President Trump from the beginning?
Yes. When he walked down that escalator, I go, there's my man. Because, he was a businessman, and I'm doing the same thing. I go, that's who I want, is a business owner.
So, how has coronavirus impacted you as a businessman? Has it made things difficult,
I fix cars for a living, so it hasn't changed my life a bit. I just go to work every day. So the last 5 months, I've been there 7 days a week, nonstop.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing really well right now. Well, it has not been the case for many people, so you're very fortunate, and I'm very happy that you are doing very well. And I must say, I really do enjoy that outfit. That is amazing. I have never seen anything like that.
I've got the guy's card, and you can order one. What is it, Jim?
Oh, let's give a shout out. Do you have it on you?
I'll have to look. Jim, we'll dig it out. My wife's got it. He's down. We bought it at a rally down in, I think, Kentucky. He was down there selling them.
Yeah.
So just couldn't resist buying one there, and been wearing it ever since.
Well, I love it. I love it. So, moving on to the 2020 election, what do you think is the most important issue of this election season?
Well, the country was going in such a great direction, and now it's sort of tipped upside down. Like you say, you just have to plow ahead and get the country rolling again. And there's lots of ups and downs, but we were doing too good to just throw it all away.
Yeah. Do you think the president has a good shot at winning re-election?
Very much so. I think
Even
there's a lot of people that they may love the guy, but they'll never tell anybody that that's who they're going to vote for.
right. Even with the polls being the way that they are, you still think the silent majority is going to pull through in the end?
Oh, very much so.
Same thing as 2016 then?
I think so.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We really support the president here at Right Side Broadcasting, and we're so glad that you were able to come on today, and so glad you were able to show off that outfit to us. That is amazing.
I thought, man, I'm not going to get to wear my coat.
Hey, no, you got to do what you got to do. If you can't wear it there, you got to wear it out in public. You got to show everyone that it's too good to let it go to waste.
Yes.
So thank you so much for coming on with us today. It's been a true pleasure getting to interview you.
I'm
And
going to sneak in and just ask a few more while we.
yeah,
I think we have some more lining up to
Push the rest of
talk.
the people out of the car.
Yeah, so a few more are walking up if you guys want to see if we can interview them. But what have you done so far in Portsmouth, New Hampshire since finding out about the cancellation of the rally? What's
Well,
your
we came up
schedule?
to the airport last night and noticed that nobody was there, and then
So you didn't get a text notification or
we did.
anything like that?
We got that about an hour before we got into town.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, oh, crud. But my brother-in-law lives up here, so
Okay.
we were coming up to see him, and then it was just like, I was supposed to go to a wedding on the way up here, and I went, sorry, sis, can't go to the wedding. I'm going to see Trump.
Priorities, right?
Just a little.
So you got to the airport about you said 8 or so last night, and you've kind of realized nothing was going on. How many people do you think were at the airport? What was that scene like pulling up to
when
you?
we got there was nobody there. So it's about like it is right now. There's just nobody there. So, but luckily you folks were broadcasting. It's like she's going, they're by the river somewhere. So
what were y'all doing before this? Are you just exploring the town on this beautiful
hung
day?
out. We went over to the Hamptons and walked the beach a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds very nice. What do you think about the cancellation of the rally? Do you think that it was due to weather?
Good question.
I know.
It's like a pretty nice day.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes.
It stinks, but it's definitely something to wonder, to be curious about. So the rest of your plan so far, the way this has happened, do you think that it's going to deter you from going to future rallies the way that, this happened, or does this,
No.
it's just nothing? You're ready to go and support.
I only drove 1,200 miles to get here, so.
1,200 miles, that's insane. Well, you're keeping such high spirits, so that's
Yes.
wonderful to see. And would you say it's pretty much the same for the rest of your group?
Oh, yeah,
Still worth it, even for that slim
Oh, yeah.
chance of seeing President Trump?
very much so.
Okay. Well,
Like she goes, if he's here in 2 weeks, it might be a stretch to get back here that quick.
Yeah. Well, at least you have somewhere to stay. That's one
Yes.
of the biggest expenses. So you can stay with your brother-in-law, so
Yeah.
that's wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll conclude it. And were these the rest of your friends that you
Yeah.
came with?
Yeah. Ray and my wife and my brother-in-law.
Okay. What a nice group. All right.
Got some things to say.
Oh, Ray's got some stuff. Do you want to do it, Jordan?
Sure.
Great. You go,
Now
Ray.
joined by Ray, who, as you can see, is a Trump supporter. Ray, tell our viewers where you're from.
I'm from Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Okay, and how far is that from here?
About an hour.
Okay, not too bad. So what brought you to the president's rally?
Well, I wanted to go to the rally, but evidently Fay, the tropical storm, stopped us, and I'm very disappointed
We are too.
because I believe that he's one of the greatest presidents we've ever had, and he is not only going to change this country, he's going to change the world. Right now, history hasn't really been written about him because he's so new, and he's going to make one of our greatest presidents, which I thought was Abraham Lincoln and Washington and Ronald Reagan. He's going to do things that were never thought possible. And I'm not talking about whether you're a Republican or Democrat, Libertarian. He's going to change things for the better. But as soon as we can get rid of the Democratic Party, the party of hate, and some Republicans, I think then we can get things done.
Now you told us, or go ahead, finish.
Go ahead, no, I'm sorry.
You said you have a few issues with your home state of Massachusetts and some things going on there. Why don't you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, the state of Massachusetts has a lot of problems, and the problems is that, well, they don't like Trump, for one thing, and Governor Baker is a very corrupt politician. He's corrupt, and he's a man that what he's doing is unconstitutional. For one thing, the lockdown was illegal under the Constitution, because to him to do that, he had to go through the legislature, which he never did, to vote on it, which we usually do, but we never did. And all this other stuff that's going on there with the mask and the phases he's going through are not working, because we have one of the lowest death rates, and our viruses are going down, not up, and yet he won't open up the economy. And it's causing us a lot of difficulty. A lot of people our unemployment rate is the fourth highest in the country, 16.8%.
Wow.
16.8%. We have over 1 million people are unemployed. And yet, look at what he's doing to this state. The illegal aliens. In this state, we have the highest per capita illegal aliens in the country. Massachusetts. You'd think that California would or New York. No, we do per capita. And this is where our money's going. We are corrupt. It's amazing. But there's a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of good people, too. And where I live in Chelmsford is one of the finest towns in Massachusetts. And I love it there, and I love the people. And I also love the police. And I want to salute the police of this country. And I want to say it publicly. You are the best. And whatever these BLMs are saying about you is untrue. You are not a racist. There is no such thing as racism in this country. We're the greatest country in the world, and that's what I believe. And I'm willing to fight for it if I have to. And I know one thing, I'm going to get involved politically, and I am involved. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, the president is facing re-election in 2020, or in November, I should say, just a few months from now. What do you think he has to do between now and then to seal the deal?
To talk about the economy, to get us back, because that's what people, the bread and butter, the economy, and also the immigration problems we're having. Those two things, if he can do that, he'll be reelected.
Awesome. And lastly, if the president comes back in 1 to 2 weeks, are you going to be here?
I'm going to try, yes. I'm going to try to be here.
Well, Ray, thank you so much for speaking with us. It was a pleasure having you. We're so glad you came up to us, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your weekend, and we hope to see you next time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
And God bless you.
Thank you. Take care. I'm going to pass it off to Alex now. He might have some more interviews. Alex?
All right. Yes, we might be able to get one more interview. I will see if she would like to. Would you like to interview for us?
I'm horrible at interviews.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. What's your name?
I'm Jody McGuire.
Jody McGuire. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So it looks like from the looks of your hat, you support President Trump.
Yes, I do.
You do. That's very good. So what brings you to come all the way halfway across the country to see President Trump?
Well, I like President Trump for one, and my brother lives up in this area, and he's had a dream to go, and he's handicapped, and we needed to help him.
Is
So
this?
we're like-
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're like, perfect.
Is this your first time seeing, or would have been your first time seeing President Trump?
No, we're kind of obsessed.
Well, he is a great man to watch. He is
Yes.
quite the showman.
It's a great show.
It is.
And it's fun talking to all the people out in the lines and stuff. We've met so many cool people that we're friends with now.
So,
Like Ray.
so as an American, what to you is the most important issue that you're facing right now that President Trump needs to talk about?
I don't know. I'm getting over the lawlessness and how it's so one-sided. He's always in trouble, and nothing happens to these people.
So do you think President Trump has been doing a good job in regards to the
Oh,
lawlessness?
yes.
Do you think there's anything that he could improve upon, or have you been completely satisfied with what he's been doing?
I'm satisfied with what Trump's been doing.
Well, so what attracted you to President Trump when you first saw he was running in 2016? Were you weary about supporting him, or were you Team Trump since the beginning?
I wanted somebody that was not in politics, and he fit what I wanted. He wasn't in politics.
Yeah.
They haven't done what they've been saying they're going to do, and he's doing it.
So you think he's been doing a good job on keeping the promises that he's made?
Yes.
What would be your favorite thing so far that President Trump has done?
Oh, gosh. See, this is where I have trouble on interviewing.
That's okay.
Oh, gosh, this is where I, clam up and I don't know what to say.
No,
but
it's
I like
okay.
everything he does.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I
even like his tweeting.
I'll switch the question around. Has he done a good job during the coronavirus? Do you think he's shown leadership? Because many in the media have been saying he hasn't.
Yes, they're not telling the full story. He shut the country down from China, and they weren't going to do it.
Yeah. So he's one of the only people who actually go out there and say what he's thinking rather than sugarcoating what's been going on, which I think is why so many people are attracted to him. I saw somewhere...
He's honest.
He is. He is
He's honest.
He is. Do you think that if Hillary Clinton would have won, that the coronavirus would have been as bad as it is, or do you think it would have been much worse?
It would have been much worse. It would have been much worse.
Do you think Joe Biden would have been mentally equipped to deal with the pressures of the office of the presidency during a time like this?
No. No, not even. No, I've seen some of his things. No.
Do you think that Joe Biden would be able to bring back the Trump economy?
No. He's going to tax us again.
Well, thank you so much
Thank you.
for being in my interview today. I really appreciate it. This
Thank
is my
you.
second interview, so
Oh, cool. This
we're
is my
working
first
together.
interview, so that's right.
We're both beginners.
I don't like interviewing.
Well, this is my second time, so
Well, you're doing good.
I hope everyone can bear with me. I'm still learning a little bit.
You're doing
Hopefully,
good.
by the third or fourth, I'll be a little bit better. But thank you so much
Thank you.
for getting to interview with me today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Trump.
Yes, Trump 2020. Well, as we know that... Oh, would you like to interview with us, sir? You seem to be... Well, we're talking about President Trump.
You might not want to hear my views about the man.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate you being honest with me, though. Thank you very much. So, as we know, President Trump was supposed to be here this weekend, but unfortunately he had to end up canceling his rally. But that hasn't stopped us from coming up to New Hampshire and just kind of admiring the views around us. We have the ocean behind us, we have many boats, and one of the things that has been really wonderful is seeing all of the American flags out. So many people supporting their country. We, like Liz pointed out earlier, we were walking past the street and maybe 4 out of the 8 houses had American flags on it, which just goes to show how many people have been supporting their country and how many people have put up their flags to celebrate this nation. So it's just so nice to see how many flags are out, how many people support our country. So I'm going to hand the microphone off to one of the more experienced people, maybe Jordan, perhaps. Jordan? All right. Well, they seem to be busy now, so I will be conducting this maybe a little bit further. So President Trump has been in office for 3 years, and he has faced arguably one of the toughest people to go up against, and that is the mainstream media. President Trump has not been supported almost at all by the mainstream media, so he's been fighting day and night to support the mainstream media. So obviously the coverage of him has been very negative. But here at Right Side Broadcasting, we do our best to show the president in an accurate manner. We talk about his accomplishments. We go to his rallies. We let the American people hear what he has to say firsthand without sugarcoating it, without distorting what he says to make our own narrative. We show the crowd size, which is one of the things that the mainstream media doesn't do. You have people such as CNN, they show him walk out and then they shut off the camera. They don't show the crowd size. We show crowd size before the rally. We show crowd size after the rally. We talk to the people at the rally. We hear their opinions, what they think of the president, despite what polls say, how people feel. So Right Side Broadcasting does do a fantastic job at showing just how the president delivers his message and without sugarcoating any of that. So I'm very thankful to be working for a company that doesn't distort anything and that just pushes forward the narrative straight from the horse's mouth. So I'm going to hand the microphone off to Liz over here. Let her start talking a little bit more. Would either one of you like to continue?
Keep going.
All right, I guess I'll keep continuing. You're stuck with me a little bit longer. So as you know, many of the polls put out by certain people such as CNN, MSNBC, ABC, they all have President Trump losing New Hampshire, this swing state that Hillary Clinton won by just a little bit over 3,000 votes. They all have him losing by anywhere from about 5 to 10 points. Well, unfortunately, we were not able to see the crowd size, so we don't know how much support he probably would have had, although it probably would have been considerably substantial. But polls have been wrong in the past. We saw back in 2016, they had, in my home state, Hillary Clinton winning the state by anywhere from 5 to 10 points, and we saw how that turned out. He ended up winning it, and it was the turning point state of the night. We had Hillary Clinton winning Wisconsin, and she didn't even visit Wisconsin, and it ended up flipping. We had her winning Michigan, and that didn't work. So we will see what ends up coming of New Hampshire. So far, polls have not been very accurate in 2016. So we'll see what ends up happening in 2020, whether Vice President Biden can gear up any enthusiasm at all. Now, President Trump has been starting to hold rallies again for the first time since March. A few weeks ago, he held a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had President Trump having a celebration in South Dakota, and this week he was supposed to be having one in New Hampshire that was unfortunately postponed. But President Trump, despite all of the concerns going on right now with coronavirus, with protests, President Trump has stuck to his message that he is going to talk directly to the American people and keep holding rallies, unlike Vice President Joe Biden, who had announced that he was going to not hold rallies during the coronavirus, which affects all 4 of his rally attendees. So President Trump will be going around to continue to have rallies. Hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you next week. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough of New Hampshire right now. We have many people out on boats today, all through the water, and right here you can see the marina. Right now it is fairly empty. We have a few people getting on boats, but it is a beautiful day to go boating here. It's probably about 75 degrees. You have a nice ocean breeze, the nice smell of the ocean right here. We have a park right here. It's very beautiful. We had a lot of people out a few minutes ago. A lot of them had gone in. It was starting to sprinkle a little bit of rain earlier, but it has now stopped, so we might see more people start to come out. But it is a very wonderful day. It would have been a great day to hold a rally, but sometimes the weather plays tricks on us and it tells us that it's not going to rain or it is going to rain, and then it does the complete opposite of what it says. So unfortunately, that's what happened yesterday, but hopefully next time we will be able to give this coverage to you from the airport that President Trump would have been speaking at. So I'd just like to thank so many of our viewers and supporters here at Right Side Broadcasting. We are entirely donation-based, so we could not be here without your support. We rely 100% on your donations, and unfortunately, because the rally was canceled, we did not have much to bring you here today other than just giving you this short little tour of New Hampshire, but we would encourage you all to please donate to us. It helps us stay afloat. It helps us stay here. We are reliant on all of your donations, and that helps us to continue to be here. So if you would like to see us still be going to Trump rallies and delivering what the president has to say, giving you the accurate source of news, showing the crowd size, not editing what he says, I encourage all of you, please donate to us and continue to donate to us as we try to go to more and more rallies. So it's getting a little bit cooler over here. It's a little bit shady. We have some people sitting around enjoying the nice views out here today, enjoying the sight of the ocean, which is very beautiful, might I say. We were all very fortunate to be here, and many people, as you saw in some of our interviews, have traveled a really long way to see President Trump. Mainstream media says that the support for him is dwindling, that people don't support the president anymore, but in a few interviews ago, we had a gentleman from Massachusetts. He had traveled about 4 hours to see President Trump. We had people from Iowa. They traveled and drove here to see President Trump. At our hotel, we ran into 2 people who had traveled 7 hours to see President Trump. So the support for him, his base, continues to grow and grow and grow, and many of his supporters are very dedicated to seeing the president succeed and to continue to follow him around at rallies. So over here we have a nice, beautiful fountain over here. It's a really nice area out here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It is a beautiful sight to see over here. We have people just enjoying the day over here. We have a lot of people wearing face masks, but a majority of them are not wearing face masks. So it doesn't look like coronavirus has deterred a lot of people from coming out here or from being sick from the coronavirus. Would one of you like to continue for me? Mike, you seem confident.
Yeah, I can jump back on here, guys. As you know, if you didn't catch my intro, I am Mike Nificent on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you want to follow me, just type in Mike Nificent 813. I love this opportunity to join Right Side Broadcasting, even under the circumstances where there's no rally to cover. So it's a great time. As you can see, there's a lot of people out here that are just enjoying sunshine, fresh air, and freedom. That's ultimately what it's about. That's why people support the president, because he's the only president that actually has stood up for freedom. You know, not a lot has changed before Trump took office. You had, you know, both parties going back and forth and nothing changes. The wars didn't change. The taxes still went up. The country kept moving further to the left, and freedoms kept getting stripped away. And so it's crucial now more than ever before that everybody get out and support the president. As you heard, there's people that have driven around, come from different parts of the country to see Trump's rally, and that's the kind of enthusiasm that will keep the country going into the future, as opposed to the doom and gloom message that you hear from the other side. And, you know, like Alex was saying, the media has painted a false narrative once again that there is no enthusiasm for Trump and that he's losing support, when in reality a lot of it is related to the virus that we're dealing with. And of course there was a tropical storm, even though it didn't come and dump on Portsmouth exactly. The campaign still took the necessary precautions for safety, with it being an outdoor rally especially. But if you talk about enthusiasm, it's visible. You can see it. People just walk up to us with MAGA hats on. People find us. From my time of doing Trump rallies in Florida, I would be just standing on street corners with a Trump flag, and people would honk their horn and people would drive up. Now, there is no enthusiasm for Joe Biden on the other side. It just doesn't exist. I mean, people pretend that it does, but there's no reality behind it, which is why the current circumstances we find ourselves in as a country benefit Biden as far as not having to do rallies or make public appearances. So I'm sure the president's very disappointed that he wasn't able to attend the rally here, and he'll be back in 2 weeks, and hopefully that will be a better turnout. But again, guys, it's going to sound repetitive, but as you guys know, we are 100% viewer funded, so your donations and support allow us to travel to different Trump rallies and help us recoup expenses when we run into unforeseen circumstances such as what we're faced with this weekend. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say other than, you know, we're just standing out here in Portsmouth. We're down at the waterfront. Looks like Liz is popping in here. She's going to take over, and she's got some things to say.
Thank you. Great job, Mike. I want to say thank you for those who have donated. Again, this was a very expensive trip for us to plan everything. We chose, I guess, unluckily, to send 2 new trainees with us, but we are excited to have them. We're glad they came with us. They just are not able to actually get to a rally. So again, we really thought we'd have a rally and this would be really profitable, and saying we lost a good chunk of our money. So if you guys want to help us out with this cancellation, this rally, and just help keep Right Side Broadcasting Network going from rally to rally, you can send a check. This is a non-electronic way, and this is because we are almost entirely viewer funded. So sending that check, you can send that to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. A really fun way to help us out financially is by sending a donation in the super chat. So if you're on YouTube and you're not using the live chat function, well then what are you doing? We love live chat and interacting with you guys, so make sure you're just signed into your YouTube account, click the live chat, and you can see what everyone is saying. It's always a fun place to be and a great way to communicate with other people. Once you're signed in, you also have the option of donating, so you'll just click the $ in the bottom right-hand corner of the super chat. You can donate absolutely any amount, then your message will come up in the super chat. Jordan is reading those sporadically throughout this broadcast, and they're a lot of fun. We get to see them all. Another way is by going to our website, so you can go to www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Again, that's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. We accept credit cards and debit cards, so whichever one you prefer. It's really easy. You can choose to send a message to be read out loud, and we are happy to do that. So that being said, I do have a couple I want to read, and then I'm going to give it to Jordan to read some of the super chats. So if you'd like a shout out, go ahead and get those in right now. Again, I'm going to read some of the thank yous. We have PR Ryan 3, who said, not happening, Cheryl. He said, thank you, RSBN, for broadcasting our great President Trump and getting the real news out to the Americans. So thank you so much. We have Todd Matosik, who said, the new guys have really been through a lot today. Treat them well. That is nerve-wracking first day. Yes, it is, absolutely. We've been treating them well. We've had good food up here.
Oh, yeah, we have not.
Awesome job to you guys. You will become awesome. Don't forget that. So it's very sweet. Thank you. We're going to go get some clam chowder later. Kathleen McKinley donated, so thank you very much. And we have Juan Placencia, who said, Por una American más libre y independiente, Trump 2020. Yeah. For an American, more liberty, more freedom, and independence. So thank you very much, Juan. Rick Graves said, the rally may be canceled, but we are all here with you. Thanks for your dedication and hard work. The RSBN crew represents everything great about this country, and we hope to see you all in California in the near future. Dibs on a California rally. We always call dibs on different rallies. We know we don't really get to say. Joe chooses where we go, but I'm going to Cali.
Me too. I'll be right there.
And this one. This might be my favorite rally location. Honestly, I don't know if it's because of
emphasis on the location and not the word rally.
rally location. No rally, but this place is so beautiful. It's unbelievable.
Someone
I need a
said
house in the
lobster and
Hamptons.
chowder.
Yeah, they're right.
Coming soon.
Brian Seaman donated and said, God bless America and our President Donald Trump. So that about rounds it out for the website donations right now. Again, if you'd like your message read out loud, and this is even a great place for marketing. So if you have a company that you think fits well with us or something, and you want to say, hey, shout out to Linda Smith with flowers, Linda's candles, give us a donation. We'd love to read them out loud as long as they're fun, clean, and family friendly. We really appreciate it because we will likely be back here in 2 weeks.
Probably.
Buying the flights, the hotels, everything all over again.
Yep. It's not free, folks. We have another donation from David McGill. He gave in the Super Chat. Thank you so much to you, David. No more in the Super Chat right now, but make sure you get those donations in soon so we can make sure to give you your shout-out on air. Someone asked, is the rally canceled? If you're just joining us, yes, the rally is canceled. About this time of the day, you would expect to see us out in front of the venue with tens of thousands of people excited to go see their president, but today, sadly, the rally was canceled. In a statement from the Trump campaign from the communications director, Tim Murtaugh, said yesterday, out of an abundance of caution due to Tropical Storm Fay, the rally was canceled for safety reasons. Now, of course, the weather thankfully cleared up today and is absolutely beautiful outside, so that tropical storm made landfall here in Portsmouth about 1 a.m. this morning, but the system was well out of the way when we woke up. So beautiful day, thankfully, because we're not getting rained on, and we can broadcast to you in this beautiful weather. But nonetheless, yes, the rally is canceled. The campaign said it'll be rescheduled for the same location in 1 to 2 weeks from now, and as soon as we hear, we'll be sure to let you know. And to make sure you know as soon as we know, make sure you're following us on all of our social media channels. You can follow us at RSB Network over on Instagram and Twitter, Right Side Broadcasting on Facebook, and Right Side Broadcasting Network here on YouTube. If you want to interact with your crew, you can interact with myself on Twitter at @JordanParker_, my colleague Liz Willis at LizWillis_ as well.
I did notice that you copied my format on that.
I think it was the reverse. I think you were _Liz Willis and you swapped it.
Yeah, but you were Jordan Parker RSBN.
Was I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've changed my handle multiple times, and this one finally feels right. True. Yep. Got to keep it moving. Somebody asked, are we tired of winning yet? Are you tired of winning, Liz?
No, I don't get tired of winning.
Okay, good point. Another donation from Trev207. Thank you so much, and thank you to Cable Smashers as well. We really appreciate it. If you guys have any more questions for us, be sure to drop them in the Super Chat right now. We are actively monitoring it, and we can kind of just make this a Q&A. If there's anything you want to know about us, about where we are, about the Trump campaign, make sure to leave us those questions, and we will answer them as best as we can. Isn't that right, Liz?
Yeah, stay tuned to our Twitter where we will later be rating our clam chowder from Gino's
Chowder and Sandwich Shop.
Yeah, we don't know. I haven't Googled or anything, but we'll probably walk over there before we cut and show you guys because it just looks like the most quintessential New Hampshire harbor restaurant. It's like old gray wood right there. People are just eating clam chowder and lobster rolls right on the dock. So we'll be giving those reviews later on today.
Somebody said, was there a huge crowd at Mount Rushmore? Was there?
Well, we didn't actually get to go inside, and we actually didn't get to go close because of the insane protest that was going on. So I would say that was a large crowd right there.
Yep.
The town that we were at was also crowded with a lot of really cool stuff. Overall, I would say based on what I saw outside of the event, it seemed successful enough because I was in the outskirts and even those areas were populated.
Someone asked how you can get tickets to these rallies. Once they're announced, you can head over to donaldjtrump.com, click the events tab, and they'll have all the rallies and events there, and you can click on whatever event or rally is close to you or not close to you, as some of these people have pointed out. And the tickets are free. You just have to enter your information, and you can get up to 2 tickets per person. So they're free. Someone said maybe a walking tour of the city. We did that the first hour of the broadcast. We're going to do that on our way back. We're going to make our way over. So you'll get to see a little bit of the city in just a few moments as well. Someone said post a few pictures of the food. Yes, we will for sure do that. So where can they follow us to see food pictures?
At RSB Network. If Joe does not want those photos on that account, I don't blame him.
We should start a food review trend.
RSBN Eats.
Yes.
From like all over the country, everywhere we go.
Because we're likely going to be to not all 50 states, but a good chunk of them, so we can post our favorite restaurants from every rally.
RSB Eats. RSB Eats.
RS Beats.
RS Beats. Okay, yeah.
Oh, another person donated. They said, question for Liz.
Oh, dear.
I heard some time ago you lived in India. What were you doing in India? I'm from India. Was just wondering.
Oh,
Liz,
cool.
what were you doing in India?
Sure, thanks, Jordan. Yeah, that was around 2008, so it's a good while ago. I was in middle school, but my father's company was outsourcing, so he actually went over there to teach some of the Indians how to do what he was doing over the United States. So it's kind of messed up, but it is what it is. And my family, we went over there. We were supposed to live there for 2 years. I ended up just being there for a few months because the plans didn't work out. But it was a really cool experience and something there's no like definitive point of when I woke up and I was like, man, I'm just super conservative. I love America, but like that's just how I turned out to be. And probably had a lot to do with living in a third world country growing up because that was gnarly.
Wild. Well, that was a very expensive question she asked, so thank you, Pronoun, for your donation. We really appreciate it. Someone also said, my son Max just walked behind you. Max? So cool. So shout out to Max at home.
Tell him to come talk to us.
Someone is asking, is the rally July 25th now, or possibly? We're not sure. We don't have an official date. The campaign has said 1 to 2 weeks, but we don't have an official date or time or location. So as soon as we get that for you, we'll be sure to let you know. Another donation coming in from Tall Walls. He said 225 miles and counting. Yes, for those of you wondering about the wall, I believe over 225 miles have been completed thus far, and they're on track to complete over 500 miles of new border wall down between the U.S. and Mexico by the end of the year, which is absolutely astonishing. The president, again, fulfilling his campaign promise of build the wall. Going to pass it on over to our 2 new crew members. Again, if they want to come cycle in, Mike and Alex, pass it over to you guys. Get your thoughts on the day and what you hope to see from the next rally.
You want to hear me talk? Oh, no, I won't do that. So, what do we think about the day so far, given that there's no rally and this is our first time out with Right Side?
Well, it's disappointing that we didn't end up having a rally today, but the day is still a beautiful day. It's been great to see how many people have come here to support him, driving thousands of miles to come see the president. It's just been a really nice day. And like they were saying, the food here is amazing. The clam chowder, the lobster, it's been fantastic. It's been quite the experience.
The chowder? We got to go get some more of that. We had some yesterday. As you guys know, this is our first time, both of our first times ever coming to New Hampshire. It was your first time in Massachusetts?
It was my first time in Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
Yeah.
2 states off my list.
Yeah, and a third, soon to be a third, if we cross over the water there and go over to Maine. It's just right over there across the water.
My sister and I have a competition who can visit the most states, and right now I'm sure she's probably, number 1, she's probably excited I'm talking about her right now, but number 2, she's probably very devastated that I just kicked her butt in states because she was ahead of me and not anymore.
Yeah, and you would have had an opportunity to, ease past her with blazing speed had we not been dealing with a pandemic. With that said, what do you think about rallies going forward between now and re-election, which is November 3rd? Do you think that Trump will be able to hold multiple rallies, or do you think that there will be spikes in cases in states that happen to, be where he's going next? Not that I'm speculating or anything, but I'm just saying, what do you think?
Well, what I find amusing is, you hear the media always talking about how a Trump rally, the one in Tulsa, Oklahoma, though that caused a huge surge in coronavirus cases, but then all of a sudden when people go out and they protest by the thousands, the virus somehow knows that it shouldn't spread at that point. It's amazing how it knows that. So I think that Trump is going to continue to have rallies. He was going to have one this weekend, so it's obvious he wants to continue to talk to his supporters. He enjoys having these rallies. I think he's going to continue to have more and more rallies. Joe Biden had said he's not going to have any more, which I know that that's devastating.
It's convenient.
It is very convenient. It's devastating that he won't have them. I know all 6 of his supporters, they're going to be very devastated by that. So yeah. I do think President Trump is going to continue to hold rallies. I hope to be able to go to more of them, and I hope that he will be having one back here in 2 weeks. He said he would, so we will see the date, and we will let you guys know as soon as that comes out, as we usually do when rallies are announced.
Yeah, and as we're talking here, being new to Right Side Broadcasting, who obviously there's no discrimination here, what do you think about how the left wants to divide our country, specifically along racial lines? What do you think that does to the social fabric of our country, but then also as far as Trump and his supporters, being able to show and broadcast that people from all walks of life support the president, people from all parts of the world support the president? What do you think about how that has damaged the campaign and has seek to try to, railroad his opportunity to retake the White House?
Well, President Trump in 2016 won more black vote than Mitt Romney and John McCain, yet the media continues to say that he is a racist. And I do think that that is far from the case, and a lot of the Democrats right now, I think they are scurrying because they have never had to work for the black vote before, and now they have to put in the effort. Typically, black people would just vote for the Democrats, and then 4 years later, the Democrats try to get them to vote for them again, and just continue to ignore the issues surrounding the black community. This time, they actually have to go out to the black community and work for those votes for the first time. President Trump has done miracles for the black community. You have record low black unemployment. That is so substantial, and I don't think a lot of people hear about that because the media is so skewed towards the left. They don't try to get that message out. So I think he is going to get more support from African Americans this year than I think anyone will ever be able to foresee being possible.
Yeah, and it's not just the record unemployment, it's the permanent funding of the HBCUs, it's the prison reform. That was groundbreaking. That both parties had claimed that they were wanting to do that for years, and it never got done until Trump was in office. Also, the opportunity zones. He's done a lot. He's held special forums at the White House just for black Americans. He really does bring the country together. When we focus on the economic issues, the social issues tend to fall apart because the social issues tend to rise when the economy is not doing well, which we see in 2020 now so far.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here, the big picture is Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all combined with their years of service, over 100 years, and they're running on what they want to do. And President Trump has been in office for a little over 3 years now, and he is running on his record. That is the big difference. They are all talk, and they are no action. Now, thank goodness their action has never actually come into effect because we would be doomed right now. But they are all talk, no action. That's how they stay in power for so long. Make promises, and they don't deliver. President Trump, his key campaign slogan is promises made, promises kept. And he has made promises. He said he was going to build the wall. He has built the wall. He's built hundreds of miles of walls. He said he was going to lower taxes. He was going to fix the economy. Exactly what he did. He said he was going to fix prison reform. Exactly what he did. President Trump, promises made, promises kept. He does what he's going to say, and these other career politicians in the Democratic Party have never delivered, and I don't think that they ever will.
Absolutely. Yeah, great time out here. We're enjoying our time in New Hampshire despite having no rally. We're making the best out of it. It's great. There's a lot of people walking around here. We're going to be wrapping up soon and giving you guys one last shot of beautiful Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We're out here on the waterfront. It is a little breezy, so that just to let you know that there was some kind of storm that passed through, so they did take the necessary precautions and decided to postpone the rally. But it's a great time out here. We're happy to be here, joined with Liz and Jordan, two of the more experienced Right Side Broadcasting correspondents. They've been great as far as getting us prepared to do our first ever rally. From the comments, we saw that you guys are really happy with what we've done. I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking getting on camera for your first time, when you think that you're going to be doing something, it's almost like a test that you've prepared and prepared for, and then when you show up on test day, it's something totally different, and you have to wing it. That's kind of what this has been like, but it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. What do you think?
It's been really fun seeing all the support from you guys, going through the comments. One of the comments saying the redhead did great for his first hour. That really hit home for me, so I appreciate that. It's been really a fun experience getting to do this. If you would have asked me a few years ago, would I ever see myself standing here with Right Side Broadcasting being one of their field reporters, I would have thought you were crazy. So it's a really nice opportunity, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I have to be able to do this. And I am so thankful for all of your support as well.
Yeah, and it's funny, this wouldn't even be possible, I don't think, without Trump being in the White House. It quite literally created jobs because Right Side Broadcasting needed more correspondence as we moved towards the election. And here we are covering one of his rallies, even though he's not here, because that's how well he has done for this country. So it's been great reading the comments. I saw people in there recognize me from my YouTube channel. And if you're just tuning in, you can find me on YouTube and support me at Mike-nificent. It's just like Magnificent, except Mike. Just replace Mag with Mike, and you'll find it. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. There's a few problems there with my Facebook, but I hope to get those resolved, and I hope it's not a free speech related thing. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But nonetheless, you can find me there if you just type in Mike-nificent813.
And you can find me on Twitter at ReelACaldwell. That's my Twitter handle. I'm not usually on Twitter. I'll try to be a little bit more active on Twitter. I had to look up what my tag was because it had been a while. But yeah, ReelACaldwell, that is my Twitter handle. And hopefully we'll be able to start putting out some things that help to support President Trump on Twitter. So what, to you, is the most exciting part about being at Right Side Broadcasting?
It's the opportunity to join a company that stands for the same things that I do. They understood that I already had my own platform that was growing, just an independent platform, and they didn't put any conditions on me joining the team saying you have to toe this line, you must think this way and talk this way. They let me be who I am. That's ultimately what drew them to me, and so it's a great match that I'm able to join this company and be my natural, authentic self, which I think the viewers, that's what you guys want, right? Authenticity. That's what we bring to the table here. So it just feels good. It's fun. Everybody's been friendly so far. We got our wonderful cameraman here that's holding up that camera for us and getting all the interviews and everything. It's fun. I really enjoy it. And for this to be my first official rally, and it's not a rally, it's just showing, like, if this is the hardest that it's going to get, I think the rest will be a breeze, especially with all the experience that I already have.
How did you get your initial platform started?
That's a very interesting story, and I always have, whenever I tell it, I enjoy telling it, but I'm like, where do I start? Where do I begin? Because it's such a long journey back to when I first awakened. I would say back in 2016, I was living in Minneapolis. I was working for Target headquarters, and I thought that I had the dream corporate job, but things weren't really working out for me, and I was kind of searching around for an opportunity that was different. And coincidentally, there was a lot going on with our country at the time. I was not politically engaged at all. I was just more adjacent with the liberal left, but I never identified as a liberal or a Democrat or anything. And there was a lot happening, a lot of propaganda, a lot of things that awakened me. And then fast forward about 6 months, Trump got elected, and I saw everyone in Minneapolis, for the most part, give or take a few conservatives that are out there that I know, most people were just going into complete meltdown. They just couldn't believe it. The world was over. Everything's over. And just the emotional reaction to seeing the president win. And at the time, I didn't feel one way or the other. I was a little nervous about him winning because I didn't know anything. I was just paying attention to what I saw in the news. Well, come to find out, everyone was upset for nothing because everything started to improve. So, I leave Minnesota, I go to Florida. I really hit the eject button, started a brand new life for myself. I didn't have a job when I got to Florida. I just was going to wing it. I started doing Uber and Lyft, which I knew would be very lucrative with the tourist industry down there. And a lot of people were getting in my car with MAGA hats on. And up until that time, I had not met any Trump supporters. So they would get in the car. They would be friendly. They gave me great tips. And then I got a job as a delivery driver, and I would go on Trump supporters' properties. I know, scary stuff, right? As a black man walking up to a Trump Trump supporters' house in Florida, of all places. People were nice, friendly, offered me bottles of water, and I said, wait a minute, there's something going on here that I'm not being told. And the more that I learned, the more that I uncovered, and then I thought to myself, I'm going to use my voice at a time when there aren't many voices. This is back in 2017, late 2017, and the rest was history. I figured I'm going to make a video about my experience. That was my first video. I just talked about what it was like being black in America and dealing with Democrats, Republicans, and blah, blah, blah. And then I talked about how Trump had done some great things that I thought were good, even though I was coming in neutral. I said, Trump is actually doing some great things. I don't understand where everyone's so upset. It's like, it's just, just false fear of this president. And the rest was history. I figured people are either going to love this video or hate it. And here I am 3 years later with a big platform, and now I'm with Right Side Broadcasting.
That is such a fantastic story, and I'm so glad that you are here with us. Could you tell us a little bit about how people treated you when you first came out as conservative, being that many people think that, because of your skin color, you shouldn't be that way? Can you tell us how people kind of reacted to that?
Yeah, it was actually very disappointing, especially from people who, claim to be friends. As soon as I began proudly supporting the president, because it wasn't always like that. I supported him, and then I was like, well, maybe I won't just blast it out on social media. Then one day I was like, actually, this is a good thing. I think it was right after the North Korea summit, the first one. I was like, surely the media will report this fairly. It's not like the worst thing in the world. Nope, they spun it to a negative thing. And I remember that was one of my first Instagram posts, and I instantly lost a lot of followers. Friends and family, unfortunately, they just weren't really a fan of my views. It's been honestly the most eye-opening thing, because once I first put on the MAGA hat and went out in public, I was meeting a lot of people who support the president that were just so friendly to me. And then on the contrary, the people who didn't support him were very vitriolic and had a lot of animosity towards me. They're very hostile, very hostile. And that was the most eye-opening thing, to see that the people who I thought were loving and tolerant and we love everyone, it's like as soon as you disagree, then you're in this entire different basket where they kind of look down at you almost as if you're less worthy of oxygen, which clearly I feel like within the movement of people that support the president, they're just American citizens. They don't care what color you are. They don't care who you sleep with. They don't care about any of that. They just care that you love the country and you love freedom and you don't want to bother anyone else. I always say on my channel that there's two kinds of people in the world. There's people who want to be left alone and people who won't leave them alone. It's really that simple. And I think for the most part, people just want to be left alone. They don't want to bother anyone else. They just want to live their lives. And that's kind of what I found to be true when going to Trump rallies, is just people were friendly and they didn't really care anything about my skin color. They weren't hateful. But if I were to go and wear that MAGA hat and go into a liberal area, I might experience something just a little bit different.
Now, when Joe Biden says something like, if you're not for me and you're for Trump, then you ain't black, what does that make you think? And how does that make you feel?
Well, I think for me it's laughable, because it just demonstrates the arrogance of the Democrat Party. They are so arrogant and so cocky that they just believe that the black vote should just be gift wrapped for them, like they don't have to campaign for it. You saw it in 2016. Hillary didn't go anywhere near Detroit. She sent Jay-Z and Beyonce out on stage to give a concert to basically say, hey, vote for me. She went on the Breakfast Club and pandered. And you saw the same thing with Joe Biden. And I think for the most part, black America, whether or not they support the president, they at least see that they're being played by the Democrat Party. Like, it's very obvious. I mean, with the economic despair in the inner cities, with the pandering, the cringe pandering, like kneeling and wearing the kente cloth and just changing their dialect to talk to black people. I mean, there's nothing more insulting than that. And then for them to show such outward vitriol and racism towards someone who doesn't agree with their narrative, someone like me that will not subscribe to their little oppression doctrine, that it just shows, it just puts it on blast, it puts it on display. So I think Joe Biden, to be mad at him is kind of pointless, because he's a part of a system that thinks that the black vote is just theirs for the taking. But people like myself, people like Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, Anthony Bryan Logan, several other black conservative influencers, we're standing up in the face of that, and we're saying, look, you're not just going to get our vote. both parties in reality should be campaigning for everyone's vote. Nobody should just blindly support a political party and participate in some monolithic thought. That's not who we are as human beings. I kind of went on a long little tangent there, but I just think that, Joe Biden just thinks that he deserves the black vote. He thinks he's going to get it. That's what they have gotten for so many years. But under this president, again, going back to Trump, so many things needed to happen under this president, and we're seeing that it's happening. People are waking up. People are thinking for themselves. People view themselves as individuals. People see themselves as equal to everyone else. We're all equal in the eyes of God. We're all equal under the rule of law, and that's that. So I think that under the president, we're seeing that people are waking up.
So should the worst happen, and on Election Day Joe Biden wins the presidential election, what do you think is going to happen, and what do you think is going to change for black Americans?
I don't even want to entertain that right now, just because that's not something that I even am going to acknowledge, because what you focus on expands. And right now the focus should be on improving the country, bringing the country together, from the division that they're driving. They're driving this division, especially along racial lines. I think what's important is to focus on the re-election, focus on the promises made and the promises kept, and the things that he's done for black America, whether you're talking about lowest unemployment, whether you're talking about opportunity zones, permanent funding for the HBCUs, where Obama defunded HBCUs. I think focusing on those wins and bringing more people to that message will help propel him to victory. I think really, I don't really see acknowledging a possibility of Joe Biden winning as helpful, other than bringing it about. What you focus on expands, and that's what we're going to focus on, Trump getting reelected. That's what I think is important.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, for all of your input. I think that was all very beautifully said. And I just want to thank you for coming here with me today. It's nice to have somebody else who is not experienced with this as well. So it's nice to know that I'm not all alone in this. And your questions, you answered beautifully. And I think you've been a very good interviewer today and talking today. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think we should probably hand the mic off to Liz and Jordan now.
Yeah. We're going to start moving
So we're going to start moving back. So I'll let this be yours.
Great job, guys. Couple more donations. I want to say thank you to Marlene Georges, who said thank you, God bless you, as well as Charlotte Patterson, who donated via our website and said God bless and protect President Trump. God send revival and save the USA. It looks like our little group here of friends from earlier has accumulated. It's basically a mini Trump rally here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, right on the harbor. A beautiful, beautiful little sight. People just meeting up. Strangers, and they're just kind of talking to each other, enjoying this beautiful weather and having a nice day. Again, Right Side Broadcast Network, thanks you to everyone who's tuned in today. If you're confused about what you're seeing, well, this is not a rally. The rally was canceled around 1 p.m. yesterday. And the rally was scheduled for today. However, it's not going on. So a lot of people were already here, had just arrived. And like us, we were mid-flight when the rally was announced. So we just decided to keep going. Not much you can do from there. We didn't want to pay for new flights. So we thought we'd just hang around here for a few days, check it out, do some tourism, and talk to anyone we found that was excited about going to the Trump rally. And there's been a good amount of people here in different outfits, Trump hats, whatnot. So we're just excited to be here and to show you Portsmouth, New Hampshire's. We do thank Alex and Mike, our new co-workers who are here today. They were really excited to train for their first rally, but they're still getting some training in. It's harder than it looks to talk on camera, and they've done a phenomenal job. This is really beautiful, and I want to jump in that water so bad. Jordan says he will do it for a $500 donation, so I really... Liz will do it for free. I probably...
Really?
No, that's what Alex said. He's not wrong. I mean, look at that sailboat. How gorgeous. I think the way this place smells is doing good for me, like mentally. It's a really nice place. Big fan. Again, so we're just hanging out in Portsmouth. I want to say Portsmouth because that's how it's spelled, but that would be incorrect. New Hampshire today. We're going to walk around a little bit, head back towards where we started, which was Gino's Lobster Shack. I have no idea if it's like famous or what, but it looked popular, so feel free to Google that if you're curious about where we are. We are walking back towards that right now. We've had a lot of people come up to us and just say, hey, we love watching you guys. They actually tracked us down by looking at the background of our video, which is kind of cool. They were nice. We were excited to talk to them and get to know them a little bit better with their story. But we do appreciate y'all tuning in with us today so that we could show you and share with y'all a little bit about our day and what we've been up to. It's been pretty lovely. Gage is doing a great job as cameraman. And although we're bummed that we're not at a rally, I think we're certainly trying to make the most of it. Right Side Broadcasting Network did have a partner for today's rally. We would have been excited to work with them as well. I won't reveal that name just yet. But we, of course, were unable to go through with that, so we don't have that deal. And all of the travel expenses without the profit of the viewers of our rally and the donations that come from such a big YouTube broadcast. So this was an expensive, kind of a loss for us financially, although we're still happy to be here and to be flexible and trying new things, but we are encouraging donations. So if you would like to contribute to Bright Side Broadcasting Network, because we are almost entirely viewer funded, you can click the $ in the super chat. That'll allow you to donate absolutely any amount. It's a lot of fun because everyone else can see your message gets popped up like in a highlighted color. You can also donate via our website by going to www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Again, that's www.rsbnetwork.com and then /donate. If you don't want to donate, that's cool too, but check out our website, rsbnetwork.com. If you would like to donate non-electronically, you can send a check. There's a lot of questions about that, so checks are very much so welcomed here. You can send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Right now we're walking back along this path at the park to where we started. They're getting ready to sail away. This is a 3:30 sail time. And right now we'll just let you take a nice look at the harbor for a few moments. Absolutely beautiful. A totally different part of the country than anything I've been to before. But I am excited to be back in about a week or two. Hopefully that announcement for the campaign rally comes sooner than later. I would not mind just staying here, finding a shack somewhere. I could be a lobsterman, fisherman. It even smells different. I'm not kidding. The beaches where I'm from on the East Coast have like more sulfuric smell. This one's seems very clean. I could be wrong, but big fan. Clear water along the inner harbors at least. And a lot of really nice walking trails that we've been a fan of today. So again, thanks for sticking with us. We're glad that we could introduce to y'all Mike and Alex and just take y'all, our viewers, along on this very interesting ride. 2020 has been a whirlwind. It's like kicking a lot of us in the face, but we're here for it. We're excited. It's definitely keeping us on our toes, and we are eager to be able to get back to life as we knew it before and just rally from one location to the next and just kick some butt on the campaign trail leading up to the presidential election. Looks like my coworkers are walking back up, joining me. So sweet. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Jordan.
Thank you so much, Liz. Great to be back with you all here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Again, Right Side Broadcasting is majority viewer funded. It takes your donations and your support to keep us on the run, going to each and every President Trump rally. Obviously, we couldn't get to one today because of circumstances out of our control. The campaign made the call midday yesterday as we had just taken off from Atlanta that the rally was going to be called off. So a bit of a bummer for us and, of course, the new coworkers we have with us here. But nonetheless, we decided we were going to make the best out of it, come down, broadcast, and give you all a little bit of a taste of what New Hampshire has to offer. The campaign has said that it will be rescheduling the rally back here in 1 to 2 weeks, and of course as soon as we hear that date we will be sure to let you know. But until then, we really appreciate your continued support for us. If you want to help us stay on the road, you can head over to rsbnetwork.com/donate. There you can donate by credit card, debit card, or PayPal. It's a tried, true, and trusted method of donation. Second way is, if you're on YouTube, you can click that dollar sign on the bottom left-hand corner of the Super Chat. There, you can leave a dollar amount and a message, and we're going to be reading a few of those a bit later and give you a shout-out there, although do keep in mind that YouTube does take 30% of that donation right off the top. The third way is the non-electronic way. You can mail us a check. That address is on our website, rsbnetwork.com/donate. It's also in the description of this YouTube stream, and our moderators are going to be dropping that address in the Super Chat. And lastly, if you want to do a monthly set it and forget it method, you can head over to patreon.com/RSBN. That's patreon.com/RSBN. There's a variety of tiers to choose from at all different prices with all different benefits, and sure to find something that you like. Again, all four methods are great. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help us non-monetarily, the best way to do that is following us over on social media. You can follow us at RSB Network on Twitter and Instagram. Again, that's RSB Network over on Twitter and Instagram. On Facebook, we're Right Side Broadcasting, and on YouTube, where you're watching right now, hopefully, is Right Side Broadcasting Network. If you're watching on YouTube and haven't already, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button and the like button. That lets YouTube know that you enjoy our content. For Cameron wants to pan over to this harbor again, I'm going to pull up the YouTube Super Chat, read some more donations from there, answer any questions you might have as we make our way back to where we began over at Gino's Sandwich and Chowder Shop. Again, we do apologize that today isn't what you all expected. Trust me, it's not what we expected either, but nonetheless, we wanted to make the best out of it. I want to welcome Mr. Moon and thank him for his donation on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Someone asked if we were going to jump in. I think I said the donation, one person needed to donate $500 and I would jump in the water. But we haven't quite reached that number yet. And honestly, I really hope we don't, because I don't want to get wet and have to replace my clothes because of the salt water. Again, beautiful day here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Gorgeous weather. It was predicted that the Tropical Storm Fay was going to come through, although that rolled in late last night, early this morning. And of course now it's beautiful, not a cloud in the sky, and 80 degrees with a light breeze. For those of you not aware where Portsmouth is, we're right on the coast, right on the Atlantic Ocean, just about an hour, 50 miles north of Boston is where we are right now. Cute little town right across the river from me that you were just seeing is actually Maine, so we are right on the border of New Hampshire and Maine. So covered a lot of ground the past few days. Again, back over in the Super Chat, if you have any donations or questions, make sure to drop those there. And we'll do our best to answer them. Gonna make our way across the road now, back over to where Liz and... Okay, we're not gonna make our way back across the road. Okay, now we're gonna go. Don't want to get hit. Although that probably would make for some pretty good television, not gonna lie. Going to pass it off back to my other coworkers now as we begin to wrap up our broadcast for the day. Alex?
Hello again. Thank you for finally catching up with us. Thank you all again for tuning in today. It has been wonderful getting to talk to all of you. Wish under different circumstances we were at the rally, but sometimes you got to make adjustments, and nothing can stop us from going out and speaking with all of you. So thanks all of you, and thank you all for making your donations today. Please continue to make donations so that we can come out here and continue to go to these rallies and give you the word of President Trump directly without editing it, showing the crowd sizes, before and after interviewing people, not distorting his narrative. So please continue to support us so that we can go to these events. So thank you, all of you who have donated, and I encourage everyone to please donate, even if it's a small amount. Every little bit helps. So thank you so much. It has been a beautiful day here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I had never been here before, and I would really love to come back here wouldn't mind living here someday. It is beautiful. You smell the ocean breeze and you can smell the clam chowder. It is such a wonderful smell. And it's just so beautiful. So many trees, so many flowers. And it's a beautiful day to go out, be walking, sitting on the ocean, maybe going boating. Just across the river, we got Maine over there. So it is quite the hangout spot for us to be at today. So even though we weren't able to go to the rally, I am thrilled that we were able to come out here and see some of these beautiful sights. And hopefully next week we'll be able to give you some coverage of the rally from start to finish. So keep tuned, and we will be giving that coverage to you as soon as President Trump announces. Mike has been doing a fantastic job here today. This was his first time being here at the rally for Right Side Broadcasting as well. He has been doing a fantastic job. I encourage all of you to go to his YouTube channel. Mike-nificent, is that correct, Mike?
Yes, it is. Mike-nificent. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you type in Mike-nificent813, I should pop right up. Looks like we're going to be wrapping up here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire here shortly. Beautiful town. I'm happy I got to see it. I mean, under these circumstances, at least we're making the absolute most of it. Looking over the beautiful waterfront here, and then a lot of beautiful houses. I'm just blown away at the architecture here. It's incredible. The Northeast has its own little vibe to it. I really kind of like it, you know. And we're getting to see so many different states and countryside out here. We had to drive a little ways in from the airport, flew into Boston. And not too bad of a ride, right? Come out about an hour, and then here we are. The food is amazing. As you can see, Gino's Chowder and Sandwich Shop. We'll probably be heading in there shortly. Get a bite to eat. Very patriotic out here. It's beautiful. And a perfect day. I was really expecting it to be a lot hotter. It's
I was
still
worried.
still a little bit muggy, but I mean, coming from Florida, this is nothing. This is nothing. Yeah, Alex was making fun of me yesterday because I was freezing cold because of the overcast.
The room was 73 degrees, and you're sitting in a hoodie and a jacket.
Hey,
under sheets and
Florida,
blankets.
to be fair, Florida is like an incubator. It's very hot down there, and as soon as you come north and feel any temperature loss, then it really sets in. A beautiful waterfront here. Are we going to get some chowder? Is that the plan? Is that what we're going to be doing?
So I don't want the viewers to be jealous, but I think once we cut, we might as well walk over there and see what this New England clam chowder is all about.
I mean, it's great, you know. It's convenient. It's right there. Got some couple questions for our two more experienced hosts here. How did we do for our first time?
Well, my mom, Patty Willis, texted me and said you guys were solid. Great questions that you were able to interact and ask Alex about, and vice versa. So Patty says yes. I say you guys did great. Parker?
I think not too bad. Pretty good. I mean, you didn't get canceled.
How did we do as teachers?
Yeah.
You guys did great. You guys did great.
More of a hands-off approach.
The hands-off approach. And you know, honestly, that's my learning style. I like to just be thrown into the fire, and then I'll gain more experience that way.
RSBN.
It's pretty much that. I knew.
You either have it or you don't.
Right. Is either I was going to do this or I'd be fired, and you know, I guess they're going to keep me around. I guess I did okay.
Our broadcast style is so unique that you either can do it or you really can. It's not, you know, it's hard to teach.
Personality, I think. You either have
and endurance.
one or you don't. And endurance.
and endurance. Personality and endurance. And if you don't have either of those things, well, we're sorry. Probably won't make it here. But these two guys did great. We're really happy to have them. Really excited that they were able to join us today, despite not having a rally. But I'm sure if history is any indicator, the president and his campaign are going to hold many more rallies to come. And Right Side is going to be there each and every step of the way as long as you all at home continue supporting us. We want to thank you for joining us today for a special New Hampshire broadcast. Again, abbreviated, not what we initially planned, but nonetheless wanted to come out here and make the best of it and give you guys just a little bit of a taste of what New England has to offer. Until our next broadcast, again, we thank you for joining us. It has been a pleasure hosting you for just a few hours here in New Hampshire. And until next time, make sure you keep it here with Right Side. Have a good afternoon.
Stay tuned to Twitter.